What's up, everyone? Before this video gets started, I want to do a quick disclaimer. I just want everyone to know that this video was made for entertainment purposes only. We at Horror Road Trip just want to show you a scary good time. I don't even know what this is, where we're at right now. Where it goes.
Holy shit. They just said yes.
Place is insane. Hey everyone, Chris from Horror Road Trip. This past weekend, I got to attend an incredibly amazing event hosted by Get Haunted at Franklin County Jail.
What's up? Hey, Chris, man.
When I first arrived, I got there a little bit early. The rest of the guests had not shown up yet. So I decided to do a little bit exploring outside while it was still light out and check out the courtyard of the jail. These doors are heavy. So these are limestone walls, which if you're big into the paranormal, you know that this is a huge conduit that brings out poltergeist activities and can stir up a lot of energy because it holds the energy in those rocks. That's crazy. This is the gallows. We got a noose right up there. Prisoners would be hung, and then these floorboards would drop out. It feels heavy, right in this area.
It's probably right where people were hanging.
Yeah, a lot of sand. A lot of people. Just think about this was the last view they had. It's wild. Kind of chilly. When we were in the building for just that brief moment, I definitely can feel stuff.
Yeah.
On the courtyard, it's not so heavy, but it's really sad, and I don't know if it's just emotions knowing people actually died there, or if it's just energy that's left over.
We'll do several investigations. We're only here until midnight, but we'll do a few investigations, and then you have the opportunity to go on your own, investigate by yourself. We're obviously trying to find answers. Everybody has a question. I don't know what those questions are to you, and that's really what this is all about. This is whatever you put in is what you're going to get back out. If you're just sitting in the corner grumpy, no one looks grumpy here, but someone's there, they are completely, unequivocally non-believing that they were dragged there. And this is the worst thing that they could possibly do. That negative energy right there, that's all they're going to get back, right? So if you put effort into it, we try to make it fun, we try to laugh. Anybody horrible jokes. If you tell jokes, we tell jokes. We try to get the energy going.
If you
feel off. Maybe you're feeling a little nauseous, maybe headache. Speak up, because that could be spirit energy affecting you. Because it might not be your imagination. The person next to you may be sensing, seeing, or feeling the same thing.
Now, for years, I have known the Get Haunted staff. In fact, me and Boston, a few years back, produced a live action game show that was featured on Get Haunted and Paranormally Blonde's YouTube channel called Boys versus Girls. It was a paranormal game show that took place at the old hospital on College Hill. In that process, we met many of the Get Haunted staff, but it wasn't until I actually showed up at this event that I realized I had never met Terry and Julie in person. And let me tell you, this is the one thing about these events is the staff. These people know what they're talking about, and they put on one hell of a show.
SD, like if it's the first time you've ever done it, it might be difficult, but the older you are, SDs gets really, really difficult.
But whatever you hear, you want to say what it is, because, like I said, people hear things differently. So somebody might be like, well, that doesn't answer the question, but somebody else is like, well, wait, I hear this.
The more you use it, the better you get at it. But also, younger people seem to hear it better than the older folks. It's just the way it is. I don't know. Maybe it's on a frequency that, as we get older, we start losing that frequency.
So what Terry's talking about is a real thing. For me personally, I have a very hard time doing the Estes method. I hear the static and I hear words, but it's really hard for me to understand what those words are that I'm hearing. And so I want to play a little sample to show that as you get older, there are certain frequencies you can't hear. Let's check it out. Now, before we dive into the scary things that are about to unfold for the night, let's take a look at our sponsor, who this video couldn't even be possible without. And that's the one and only Get Haunted. So where we're going now is called the dungeon. This was used during the Underground Railroad, they believe, to hide the people when they were coming through, to get through the night to be able to move later on. Watch your step when you go down here. It's very dark, and this is the original structure. So after having some alone time in the dungeon and walking around and seeing, the group finally arrives. If you've never heard of the human pendulum before, it's a method practiced in paranormal investigations where a person is said to sway back and forth in responses from energies or spirits in the area. For example, maybe leaning forwards means yes, or leaning backwards means no. The rest of the group surrounds the person in the center and asks questions. Sometimes those responses are seen by the person in the center swaying either forward or backwards.
So if she kind of goes forward too far, you can make sure she doesn't fall.
Don't give me another one.
And then, would you be willing to stand up? And we're going to tripwire. So are you all familiar with a K2?
There. That should stay recalibrated.
So this is like a K2 meter.
Now, after setting up who was going to be in the human pendulum, Terry and Julie decide to set up the room with a few other instruments to possibly get contact with. One was the tripwire. Now, a tripwire is just basically a bunch of lights on a wire, similar to an EMF reader. And if any energy crosses over this wire, the lights will change colors. A thing that Terry also put out was a music box. Now, the music box is similar to a motion sensor. It faces one direction, and if anything crosses that path, the thing starts to play creepy music.
That would make energy field. And that would trigger these to light up.
Is it touching me with it? No, it's supposed to be, it's directed that way. Okay.
Is there somebody down here with us?
Throughout the first part of the human pendulum, the music box started going off. Now, it ran for a couple minutes straight before it eventually just shut off. And after it did that, we did reset it to make sure that it wasn't glitching in any way.
Now it's stopped.
We're going to go around in a circle, introduce ourselves. Spirits, we have come here tonight to try and communicate with you, interact with you.
I can close my eyes.
Okay.
Are we doing the headphones?
Yeah, do you have the headphones?
Yes.
If there's more than one spirit down here with us. Okay, thank you.
That was quick.
Did you get here right around the time that it opened? Are you upset that you are still here?
Did something bad happen to you down here?
You didn't get a chance to finish.
Was it always cold down here? I gotcha.
There it goes. No.
No.
It's good.
Do you like having visitors? No. Are there more than 8 spirits here with us?
Now, I want to point out that the guest in the middle is wearing noise-canceling headphones. She can't hear what's being asked. However, those responses seemed pretty good for the fact that she was moving shortly after the question was asked every single time. Now, remember, there's a bunch of people attending this event. So when you go to an event, it's not limited to just one person doing the experience. Anybody can participate in the experience. So we switched out guests partway through.
Is that a yes?
You okay?
You good?
Yeah, my legs are just like tickling. Is there something or someone touching my legs?
Yes.
Okay, so what I want to kind of point out here is the gentleman in the center is wearing those headphones. Now, if you notice, moments before, the young lady who asked the question about having her legs touched starts scratching at her legs. Now he's wearing noise canceling headphones and his eyes are closed. But the chances of him knowing that her question was, am I being touched, and the answer being yes, leads me to really believe that this is some actual communication we're having.
Yeah, ever since we started the pendulum, the music box stopped.
No,
I wonder if we stopped it, if it would go off, and then if we restarted.
I actually was going to ask, would you be willing to walk down that hallway for me? He just keeps touching your legs.
Oh, there it goes.
Holy shit. Thank you. We really appreciate that.
Oh, they just said yes?
Yes. Yeah.
See, do you see how excited that makes us?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was creepy. Let's go in here. This was like the original jail, and then they, later built it. But there's only 5 cells down here. Hey, I can smell the fireplace. Chain the person to the floor. You're already in a room that you can't get out, and then imagine also having to be chained and restricted. This place is nuts. Or imagine in the Underground Railroad, right? Yeah. They would come in here and they would hide. Let's go look at the fireplace that's behind this wall. So this is the fireplace that was on the other side of that wall. While the thing was going on, the gentleman that was standing right here kept saying that he heard somebody like pacing back and forth in there. And you can see that blue camera light down there. I kept seeing something block it out when I was over in the corner filming. So, walking into this room. Whoa. I don't even know what this is where we're at right now. We're in some underground. This place is insane. It's absolutely amazing. Just want to sit. So when I do my investigations, I like to come in and just hang out. Not mess with equipment right away. Make it feel like I'm a part of the environment as well. So let's just sit for when I first opened, segregation was a big thing, and this was where any African Americans would be placed to keep them separate from the other prisoners. Prisoners drew all over the wall. There's some dates over here, I think it's like 1948. Somebody even made a calendar. Would cross off the days that they were in here. So after we got our good fair share of scares in the basement, we decided to move to the main floor.
Yeah, okay. I know the bottom floor of the other side is closed off because they have lounges.
Could you still go to the second or third?
Oh,
Yes, we will, we will.
Going up there.
Also, what's interesting is because of that so
Such a
existed back in
small, tight area.
long term.
So we're in one of the cells.
It'd be great if they had better records.
There's 3 floors to go, and I believe we're in cell 17 on the first floor. Look how tight this door is.
This wiring versus after this increase.
And then, saw that.
Very few, and you know. Always good intentions.
This is.
We're gonna go up to the 3rd floor.
At one point at the Franklin County Jail, there was a riot. And on the 3rd floor, one of the prisoners tried to make a leap off the balcony to the windows to escape. However, it was a very failed attempt, and we'll hear Terry explain what happened.
So so the person that supposedly jumped from the 3rd floor to one of these window shells. And this was not here at the time. So supposedly the guard said, "You're gonna have to get down somehow." And he said, "We're not coming up here to get you." So supposedly jumped and broke his arm.
So we decided to finally move up to the 3rd floor, and we took a bunch of REM pods with us. Now, a REM pod is kind of like the opposite of an EMF reader, because instead of searching for electromagnetic field, this one creates its own electromagnetic field. And anything that crosses that path will set off different sensors on it, so you know how close it is to the REM pod or how strong that is.
There's one right here.
Ooh, this room's heavy. You can feel.
Here, it's going already.
There was obviously a door.
You know which cell they jumped from?
Is it this one? I think it was down this area. Now, whether it was a specific cell or whether they came out here somewhere. So,
Yeah, it's involved in here.
REM pods should not go off unless something is interrupting that field.
Yeah.
Spirits? Is there someone down there?
It's safe to say that on the 3rd floor, these things just went off like crazy the whole time.
What's the cell? 6? Is that cell 24?
27.
27. So this is 28. Is there someone outside cell 28? Can you please step away from that? Please? Thank you. No, step way back.
Yes, stop it. Can you just step back for a total of 3 seconds? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
I got chills.
It just cannot explain.
Yeah.
You know, is there a guard posted there?
Right.
The funny thing is,
Goes off.
we've always had it going crazy down here.
Well, then I guess we can't tell if it's you or something else.
I would have to be probably
Like
this
real close.
and I'm not.
And none of the other floors are the same?
Well, we're gonna do an experiment and we're gonna try.
Just a moment ago, this REM pod behind me is going off. The woman in that cell asked it to stop for 3 seconds. She counted to 3, and then boom.
It kind of just did it again when you said that.
Make it peak for 5 seconds and then stop when I stop counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
In your cell. Can you set that off twice if she's in your cell? I don't think he wants to talk with
Do
me.
they like think there's residual up here instead of just?
It could be.
That was pretty wild out there with the REM pod. So the REM pod's going off. How they work is there's that little antenna and it has electromagnetic field around it. It takes a lot to set them off. Like you have to cross in a very small radius, and yeah, now it's maxing out there. But there's definitely different speeds of how like far the contact, how close the contact is to that antenna, and we saw it turning on and off on command, which was extremely impressive. I've been to a lot of haunted places, and the feeling is different here. Like I don't feel danger. I'm not scared, but it feels heavy. Definitely feels heavy and depressing. Very depressing.
Screen to see if I see shadows, because
Well, it's weird. It's like not letting me turn my camera on. What are you?
that's not me.
So towards the end of the night, the camera started acting up. I started having weird glitches going on with the gimbal that I was using, causing the camera to freak out and shake. We also had some knock rods set up. Now, knock rod is basically a light on a motion sensor. And you'll notice that you have to be in front of it for this light to go off. However, we were never in front of it, and there was never anybody at the other side of that hall. So, not sure why this was going off as much as it did, but it also seemed to be very intelligent in when it went off.
Oh, sorry. Every time I get close to the room, they're like,
And there's no one over there. Now they're I see the flashlight now. Yeah. And that's the women's section over there.
This was the women's section.
Maybe that's why he doesn't want the girls to go over there.
Yeah. He wants you to stay over here. Oh, that's weird, because nobody walked in front of them.
Do you want me to stay out of this room?
I said that. That was kind of interesting.
Wants me to stay out of the room?
Wow. Because there's still no one there yet.
Do you want me to leave?
Is it responding to questions?
It's responding to her questions. Like, here she comes. You okay? No. You have to be in front of her. Or maybe 120 degrees or so. Yeah, that's what I want to see distance-wise. Okay, very good. Okay. So, I don't know, 20 feet, 25 feet? Okay. Well, that kind of leads to, because when it was going off, we were thinking, well, maybe it's the shadow of that wall, so it can be the shadow of that wall. Because it's only this.
It got really dim So towards the end of the night, I actually started to feel a little dizzy. It wasn't until later on, after the investigation was over and we were standing around talking, that I found out that other guests also felt lightheaded and dizzy at cell 26, exactly where I was when that happened. So what could that be? Could that be paranormal activity? Could it be bad electrical around there to make you have that feeling? I don't know. But it was weird that we all had that experience in that same location. Now, you may say, this video hasn't shown tons of the location. Well, that's right, because when you go to a Get Haunted event, we don't want to spoil all the fun that happens throughout the night. Now, remember, this video is only about 30 minutes long, and the event that we were at was over 5 hours long. So make sure, if you want an experience of the paranormal, go to gethaunted.com. They have a wide selection of locations all across the US for the rest of the year. These locations are places that you may not be able to get into by yourself. So go check them out and have a spooky good time.